So, what are you here for, man? Are you from a different country? Where are you from, first and foremost?
Uh, yeah, I'm living in Australia.
Okay, another Aussie. I was just curious because you scheduled for midnight, so I figured it had to be somewhere else. Okay, so what's the deal? What's your MMR, all that kind of shit?
So my MMRs right now is 6172.
Oh,
Um,
6.2K. Okay.
I got some replays. Just one. I wasn't sure if I should give you like support or core replays. I just kind of play a bit of both.
What are you trying to get better at? Both?
Yeah, just okay. I got one support, one core replay then.
Wow, this is
I'll
weird. I've
send
had
them to you.
two 6.6 low 6K players who are support and core players that are trying to learn today. So, okay, so let's check it out. Ursa. Oh, is this pre-nerf or post-nerf Ursa?
I literally just played it like
Okay,
30 minutes
so
ago.
post-nerf Ursa. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who are you here? You're Ursa right here. 420 reverse blaze it. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen before you tell me. Shut up.
Sweet.
Okay, nice. Let's check it out. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Let's check it out here. So you're Ursa. You're going to be against a Pugna Grimstroke or Pugna Pudge or Tiny Grimstroke. There's all kinds of lanes you could be against here.
Yeah.
And I'm fine if you just have a lot of regen. So I'm good with your items.
Sweet.
I'd rather be against Tiny. Wait,
Okay.
why is your name BSJ?
Uh, I I just wanted to show everyone how big a fan I was.
Oh, nice. Okay, nice. Okay, that's not gonna comment. Okay, for moving on. Fast forwarding.
So like, should I go over like how I thought this lane should be
Yeah, go
played?
ahead.
Yeah. So I thought if CM played the lane with me, I could just bully this tiny, and I needed lots of regen just so I could stay high health and wouldn't die.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
think that's about
yeah.
right.
All right. Cool.
This is good.
And then I was like, okay. I told him I'm gonna help you bully, but as long as I don't miss any CS.
So far, this is all good. I'm actually fine with everything you have done so far.
Okay.
So your CM is okay. Fast forwarding. I literally have no complaints. So moving on. If I don't see anything wrong, which is very rare, I just get to keep fast forwarding. So you can just assume everything you've done so far is what I would expect you to do. So we are moving forward.
Another thing was, so for my item build, I was thinking our team doesn't really have tools to kill Ember until we got like ES Blink or something. So I was gonna itemize to kill the Ember, and so I would go Blink Basher.
I got you. So I guess what I'm gonna say about this is that how do I think how do I word this? It's like an understanding thing. I think Ursa is just a different hero than he was last patch because of the nerf to his Q, right? So like I feel like last patch his power like I haven't actually played him yet, but just by knowing what made him powerful, I feel like he's not all that powerful at level 2 anymore. Like he used to
Right.
be really strong, and now he's just not. So I don't know if you're just used to playing him last patch, and so you're playing it accordingly, or what have you. But I definitely think that he's not the monster he used to be at level 2 anymore. So like I would get this hit, and I would nuke, and I'm immediately backing off right now. And it's just one of those things where the minute you use your Q, you're just not that scary anymore until you're level 3. Because your Q does very negligible damage. You got the slows off, and you've kind of done your part now. Do you know what I'm saying by done your part? Like when you go aggressive on anybody in any lane, it's kind of like, okay, I've done a little bit of damage, but what anything I do now is inefficient because I don't have any source of good trading. Like, yeah, I have Fury Swipes, but that got nerfed level 1. Like, My Q doesn't do that much damage anymore. I don't have any way to follow this up. That's how I think about it. Like when I'm PL and I Lance and I hit them once with my E, like I Lance and then Phantom Rush them, I usually back off right after that Phantom Rush because I'll have the extra bit of armor and move speed when I'm walking away. But if I were to hit them a second time, then by the time I'm walking away, I no longer have any of those bonuses, and I am vulnerable to getting hit a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I try to recognize my weak point before it happens. So it's like, I hit them, I Q, I hit them, and then I back off. I might even back off before this second hit, for instance. These are the type of things where it's very minuscule microaggression things, but it's just you overcommitting when you're not strong yet. And this may simply be because you have not played Ursa since the nerfs. And the nerfs are pretty heavy on this part of his game. Like, I think that was correct last patch. But this patch, not correct. And that's just understanding, like, when I see patch notes, maybe out of pure habit, I'll still make that play. But, like, I knew before this patch that Ursa's level 2 was really powerful. But I also know why it was powerful. And they nerfed the fuck out of that. So it's like, kind of just have to know that. Or, like, figure that out. So from now on. And it looks like Rimstroke's going to be a nice guy. Cool. Okay. So personally, not honestly 100% sure how to level Ursa anymore. You have your overpower, which is super important, but I also feel like I might even take a second point in Q in this particular lane, just because I'm against Tiny, and Tiny's tree makes him hit for about 90. So if I have the 100 damage, anytime he tries to contest my CS, I will just Q and hit him with the Q. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I know what you mean.
It's up to you. I'm simply telling you, I have not played this lane matchup since the nerf, right? Like in the old days, I would 100% go 1-1-1. But I'm just giving you things to consider in these type of lanes where it's like Tiny does hit for about 90 with 95 with his tree. So if long as I'm hitting, like if I hit him with a Q and hit him 3 times while he's trying to go for that deny, so be it. I could still overpower technically. But I think I would rather have the 2 points this just to secure CS and then go back for the overpower point is how I would feel personally. But like I said, this may be correct. I just want you to think about things like this. And the big thing about it is overpower kind of implies that I'm going to commit, right? Like I'm actually going to slow him and attack him. And this is what I don't want to see happening. I feel like against Tiny, if it's constant trades, who wins?
I think Ursa wins.
Yes. If it's like committing full to 0, who potentially can win?
Ursa, because you just die.
I'm saying either of you can win. Either of you can win because you're both very burst-heavy heroes, right? So if you watch, I played Ursa against Tiny. It's probably too old to watch the replay. But I look at this type of lane and I say, both heroes can do the man-up thing, where they just commit and blow all their damage and potentially kill each other. But Ursa is much better at doing that consistently, right? Especially when you have a Crystal Maiden and you still have a lot of regen. So why not wear down his regen, right? Look at this. Why would you ever commit fully?
That's true. I didn't actually see that.
And this is something you should consider. Aren't you, with this level of regen to his level of regen, perfectly fine trading 100 damage each?
Yes.
Like him hitting you twice, you hitting him with a Q and once, you know? So if that happens, and you do that 4 times, suddenly this engagement happens again, and he's dead instead of you. You know? What I noticed a lot, I mentioned this in my earlier session, he was like 4.8k or something, and I said it's like somewhere in this region, like even when, like I didn't learn this idea until even probably last year-ish, is that you need to think about the win condition for each hero. And, like, even though Ursa is considered a hero that commits very well, you're against a hero that also commits very well. So then you have to consider, what are my other options in this type of lane? Because the rule is Ursa loves when both heroes are just manning up on each other. But the exception is Tiny doesn't particularly mind that either, and you would win if you just do this trade thing. So let's think about it that way. And that also not only has to do with the hero matchup, as I mentioned, but also your items. Like, you still have all of this regen. He does not. So that's, like, definitely a big deal. Check this out. What item do you think you should have bought before you TP'd out the base here?
raindrops, I think.
Yeah, range. Where do you get this 70 gold from? Oh, I thought you had 225. Huh, never mind. Never mind. So honestly, I would fly raindrops to myself like right now. I would not accept not having raindrops any longer. Okay, so you're gonna get level 4. I take the second point in Q here, 100%. Let's see what you do.
I win Ursa.
Okay. I don't hate it, but I would personally take the Q. I feel like you have to go 2-1-2 now, and I feel like I'd rather have this be 2 than this. If I was winning the lane, this would be 2.
Yeah.
If I'm losing or even-ish, I would have this point. Like I said, though, I probably would have gone 2-0-1 for the reasons I've already mentioned. So you wouldn't even have this choice. You'd be 2-1-1 at this level without this choice. Okay, so naturally, since even though you've misplayed a bit, you are the superior hero in this lane in terms of matchups, so it's just going to make it so you don't win as hard rather than you're now losing kind of thing. Just kind of how it goes. Okay. It's hard to focus on a lot of things at once here. So this is a spot where you have to be willing to sacrifice creeps. You get tossed, run right back at this fucking Tiny. Why?
He's used this toss, but I thought he still had mana for an avalanche. 5 minutes bounty rune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That bounty rune is worth so fucking much, right? Like, each bounty rune, just to make sure, quantifying for you and everyone here, is worth 50 gold for every hero. 250 gold for your team. 500 gold swing between one team getting into the other. 1,000 gold for both bounties. You can't possibly justify to me any amount of creeps, right? Like, to warrant that, right? So, this is a spot where all lane, I think it's okay. If this was 430, this would be the correct play. Right now, you have to help your Crystal Maiden right now. And then it leads to her then dying at the bounty, I believe?
Yeah, she dies.
Yeah. And that's like direct result of
actually.
you not helping her earlier. You should have priority on bounty runes. The only time you don't contest bounty runes is when.
Like, you just can't.
You just can't. So, you're in this lane where I don't think phase boots are the item. I think you. How did we say we win this lane? Is it by committing and killing this guy?
Yeah, so now that I think of it, how you said it was about trades, maybe Aquila would have been better.
I would say raindrops and Aquila, right?
Yeah.
Raindrops protect yourself. Aquila makes it so you hit harder, right? And you have more armor, and you're just better at trading. So it's like this overall approach to the lane where my goal when you learn from this type of game is to rethink your entire approach to it. Like, that's what you did wrong, right? It's the approach that you took. There's no mechanical mess-ups here, okay? It's just a conceptual approach to, I committed when I was level 2, because I thought Ursa was a strong level 2 hero, but let's remember what happened in the last patch. And then I tried to commit when I'm level 3, but I'm against Tiny, who, you know, isn't necessarily the best hero to try to man up against because I'll always win the trade. So then that affects your skill builds, that affects your item build, that affects the way you play the lane. Because, like, outside of those commitments, you've done the microaggressions on creeps and stuff, meaning like pushing him away from creeps, walking at him, and then coming back to lane. All of that was good. It's just the idea of understanding what you're willing to have happen in this lane. So I think that if you were understanding, like, every time he walks up for a creep, I just Q him and hit him, and knowing that's what the lane's going to look like, you would put 2-0-1, and then you'd level your W. It's like last patch, I definitely don't go 2-0-1, but like this patch, now that your Q is so shit level 1, you kind of just have to against Tiny specifically because he hits for so much damage. So naturally, you're going to win the lane anyways because you're at Ursa against Tiny. So we've talked about all the misplays leading up to this, but now we're gonna, play we're just gonna assume everything's back to normal in terms of like reset ourselves. We're going for a blink. I don't love the blink first. Why?
Maybe something to do with sustain.
I look at it as, who do I actually threaten when I buy a blink?
Right.
Do I kill Ember?
No.
Do I kill Pugna?
No, I don't think I killed any of their cores. I
You don't
was
kill any of their
playing
cores,
Russell.
right? Tiny tosses you away, Pugna decreps himself, Ember just as Ember, right? So
Yeah.
your blink timing relies on what to be effective?
My teammates being
Yeah, your teammates, right?
Yeah.
So how about we give them some more time before I get my blink? You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like, so I'm in no rush. Am I in a rush to leave this lane?
No, I actually stay here because I don't feel like I'm going to die. I can actually
Yeah,
feel
you
this.
should be. So you should be itemizing, gearing up entirely to stay here, like longer, right? So like, I would say Aquila, maybe even a full morbid before I buy this blink. So it's like that's how I look at this game. But that's because you alone don't threaten people. If one of their cores was like Alina or a Luna or like an Alk or something, I might rush a blink because I know if I get blink at 9 minutes or 11 minutes compared to 13 against Alk, that's a pretty big deal because he doesn't have his radiance at 9 or 11 minutes. He has it at 13 usually if he's having a good
Yeah.
game, kind of thing, you know. But that's because I'm thinking about the opponent cores and how they tie into me buying this blink. So let's see what you end up doing. I feel like you should stay in this lane for a while. I would have ulted there, but it's fine. That's a spot where I would have ulted preemptively right here, because the minute they throw this thing at me, right here, I know all the damage that's coming in is right now. That's why I ult.
Right.
I think your ult's way more of damage prevention than it is damage buffing. That's how I view it. So I would have ulted right there. It's not a huge thing. It's just letting you know, like,
Yeah.
making sure you're thinking about your ult correctly. You're going to salve. Okay. Imagine how all this would be going if you had Aquila and Raindrops, right? Like, you're already winning. But imagine if you had Aquila Raindrops.
Yeah.
You'd be winning way harder. Okay, so...
A dominating performance. Killing spree. Double kill.
Your mid lane's also going very well, so you don't really need to feel pressured to shut down this Ember. You just need to feel pressured to be as strong as you can. If you're winning the game, what's the most important thing to prevent the enemy team from doing?
Dominating, I guess.
Probably taking objectives.
Which one?
Your safe lane.
Your safe lane. So who else on your team is a better wall than you? Like a wall to protect your mid lane. Or safe lane, sorry.
Shaker.
He's better at sitting here being an unkillable hero to protect your safe lane?
Okay. Oh, sorry. I think I know what you're getting at. Ursa.
It's you. Nobody's better than you, right? So you should build to be the unkillable safe laner, right? Rather than anything else in this game.
Yes.
Notice how you're not really killing anybody with this blink. It feels real awkward, feels real forced. Even if you kill this guy, I don't like the move. You seeing how all it is me explaining to you your role in the game and understanding that based on the heroes on your team, based on if you're winning or not, based on all that stuff. All right?
Yeah.
Are you going to stay here if they rotate 4 heroes?
Unless my team also rotates, I don't think so.
Okay. So what are you serving as if your team would rotate?
Like
A
I don't know, just,
dangler.
like, fight them.
Aren't you a
What was
dangler?
that?
Haven't you watched me and Kyle's casting at all? Aren't you like a dangler?
What does that mean?
The guy, it's like dangling bait. They're going to go on you every time. So your team's going to counter-initiate, correct?
Yeah. Okay.
Don't you have counter-initiation heroes?
I
Invoker,
do.
Clockwork, Earthshaker, Crystal Maiden.
Yeah.
So all you have to be, are you a kill hero in the first 15 minutes of the game?
No.
No, you're just a wall that will enable your teammates to play off of you as long as you're not killable. You see how I conceptualize that as an Ursa player compared to
Yeah,
how you're
yeah.
conceptualizing it? Okay. So this is thinking about their heroes if they were like so here's here's the decision making I'm trying to voice out for you. First and foremost, we've talked about all the little things that we in the laning stage. I don't think I have to go through that any further. Going past that, I have heroes that need time. Invokers and Exort hero. My late game, I don't know if you've ever played Ursa Invoker, but you literally, like, Invoker's your win condition, and the only reason you ever have to get stuff done is if he's having a tough time. So if he's having a good time, you're good to like chill as well because you're gonna naturally outscale them. Like Ursa Invoker is one of the most powerful late game duos like in the entire game. You synergize really well. Like you take Roche, he like controls the split push part of the game. He contributes to kills without even being there. When it comes to team fights, you run in with a BKB and all these tanky items while he's killing people in the back. Like the heroes synergize really well. So you see a lot of Ursa Invoker even at like TI and stuff. My point is, when I see that, I think, okay, the only reason I'm ever going to be active is if Invoker needs me to be. Doesn't need me to be. Okay. What is Invoker wanting to do right now? He's just wanting to hit some creeps. So, what's going to stop him from hitting creeps? Okay, the opponent invading. How does the opponent invade? They have to kill my safe lane tier 1. How do they kill my safe lane tier, or how do I prevent that? Oh, it's me. Okay. How does my team respond? Okay, if one person's here, like it's just tiny, I don't care. If there's 4 enemies here, then my team can play off of me being the dangler, like the bait that they go on. Earthshaker fissures, Clockwork hooks them, Crystal Maiden novas them, maybe a Sunstrike to follow up, and those guys fucking die. All that needs to happen for all of that to occur is for me to be unkillable. So I am topped off on resources at all times. I have a Kilo, Raindrops, Morbid, and I am a wall. And that is my job as an Ursa. And eventually I'm going to get a blink, I'm going to get 1 kill, and then I'm going to do what with it?
Just push a tower, I suppose.
You're an Ursa. What are you going to do with it?
Nothing. Just go back.
You have a Morbid, you have a Blink Dagger, you killed a guy. What are you doing with it?
Roche.
Thank you. Okay, so that's my only objective I care about right now. Because if I get Roche, am I getting every single tier 1 that I want?
Yes.
Oh, why? Because they can't fuck with you.
I'm just unkillable.
They can't fuck with you, right? So, like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm in no rush to get any objectives because our late game isn't particularly worse than theirs. I just have to buy time for my Invoker. First thing I'm ever going to do is kill Roche. So I'm going to kill somebody with a Blink, get the Roche, and to do that I need a Morbid. So I'm going Aquila Morbid for sure. This game specifically. And this is not something that you can gauge at the start of the game. This is playing by feel as the lanes are going on. Like, if your Invoker lost lane, that's not your game plan at all.
Right.
It's just not your game plan, right? Like, maybe you have to open up space for him. But this is all stuff I don't like. This all feels really forced. None of your plays you ever make with like a Blink Dagger are on your own safe lane. So the point is, you're actually playing the right part of the map, okay? And now you need to realize that it feels real fucking awkward that you're playing this part of the map with a Blink Dagger. You know what I'm saying? You get that, right? So part of the map's correct. Now have the item build synergize with where you are. If I want to be playing the top half of the map and making plays and getting kills, and turning that into objectives, then my Blink Dagger will come a bit earlier, right? Then I'll want my Blink Dagger in order to do that. Notice how you have a Blink and you're just still playing safe lane. It's not a coincidence. You can feel these things by just being a good player. Like, you can feel like, I don't feel like I should leave my lane. Like, it's a feeling, right? Like, I just don't feel like I should leave. But I gave you, like, the entire conceptualization of, like, why you shouldn't leave your lane, right?
Yeah, that's really helpful.
Yeah, so my point is, gauge that beforehand, or at least learn from it here where you're like, shit, I wanted to stay in my lane. Maybe try to backtrack, like, meaning outside of this coaching session, do the similar process that I gave you, right? You're going to be smart enough to come up with a similar process yourself. Do that process and be like, shit, I'm actually happy I played bottom, but I don't want to blink when I'm playing bottom. Sometimes you'll buy this blink and be like, oh, I should have actually just rotated top. That's better, you know? And so it's like, oh, the items were correct, but I was playing the wrong part of the map. In this case, you know, like those are the two choices, right? When something's wrong, you're either playing the wrong part of the map, or you built the wrong items to play that part of the map, kind of thing. Okay, so you just want, my goal for you, at least at the bare minimum, would have your items and your playstyle synergize.
Sweet.
So, like, notice how you rotated here. Look at your gold. Imagine you hadn't died 3 times. You would have Aquila, you would have Morbid, then a Blink. In your top, you get a kill. Maybe you get this tower before Roche just because the kill's literally at the tower, right? Like, meaning don't just have to not get the tower because I told you that, you know? But eventually your objective is Roche. But notice, this is how I learned from myself. I'm like, oh, I ended up going top anyways. I would have had Aquila, I would have had Raindrops. That's what I should have built and then gone top. And I don't mind that you're playing off map because you have a hero that deals tower damage. Go ahead and kill these creeps. Be efficient. This is bad. Just be efficient.
I think I should just...
Your Invoker's still hitting a tower. If somebody's gonna go mid, who's setting up for who here? Are you setting up?
No, it's someone else sitting up.
It's someone else, right? So, like, I think it's really bad that your Earthshaker clock are top because you guys have gotten the kill and you can do what they're doing. Can you be setting up on mid? What's the difference between you and Clock right now?
I've got a blink, but Clock doesn't have hook. Oh, he has a teleport scroll.
He has a TP. So, you, in your mind, know that this lane's supposed to be defended, right?
Yeah.
So, I literally, in this spot, this is how I work in pubs, okay? If you guys watch the last sessions, I literally say every kill, you have to think about this kind of stuff. We TP top, don't mind the play. Get a kill. Boom.
Yeah.
What are immediate concerns? Is bottom lane a concern right now?
No.
Is mid lane a concern? Let's check it out. We don't actually know. We see where it is, but let's check it out.
I don't see, but it could be.
It could be.
Someone
It could
close.
be, like, potentially coming up soon, right? Is it my job to deal with it? Like, can I deal with it because I TP here? No. So then I go, huh? No, not him. Huh? Oh, he needs to shrine. Like, be like, hey man, go shrine and take mid. Or CM, go take mid. These kind of things, right? Like, you can tell people this. If they don't listen, it's just not your job. I don't want you doing things that aren't your job in the end of the day. It's me, It's like, I rotated. The way I look at this, I learned this lesson probably like 6 months ago. When you make these type of rotations, you have to reward yourself. Like, you actually have to get something out of it. So it's like, for me, it's like, I rotated here. I don't want to spend the time that I killed this guy, that he's dead. I don't want to spend that time running around back to mid. I want to spend that time hitting neutrals, protecting my invoker, right? So I would have walked over to the big camper. I would do it. I'm fine with the lingering. I'm fine with that little bit of lingering that you did. And then I want to hit these neutral. Like this, at this point, they've proven that they're not going to contest right now. So it's like, okay, let's hit some neutrals, like work towards our next item, and still be near invoker just in case.
Yes.
My Earthshaker should be willing to take bottom or mid. Like, those are definitely your teammates misplaying as well. I feel like that play could have happened the same way if you just took the neutrals and then walked there.
Yeah.
It was kind of one of those things where I'd rather you take the neutrals and then see what happens rather than doing what you did. Because the first way you definitely get gold out of it. The second way it's like potentially works out. You're also only level 10, 15 minutes in. This is also awkward. This all just feels really awkward. So let's rewind to this leading up. You have a ward. Your Earthshaker has blink. This should be a smoke if you're gonna do it. Shouldn't just be walking.
I was like, I'm unkillable, I'm just gonna walk in and then hopefully Earthshaker will blink smoothly.
I guess this is okay. It should have just been a smoke. Moves like this should be a smoke. The move itself is fine, the execution is bad. Like, the move is good in terms of like what you're trying to get done. It should have just been a smoke is what I'm trying to say. It just felt really weird. It's like that you're just walking at them like that. Like, I personally would have smoked and taken the high ground and used this ward as like a, I'm going to jump anybody that's right here or that I see right here. So you just go into Roche because you have the ward. Okay. I don't love this play, but I don't hate it. Like, okay. So we need to, what's going to change the way we play this game? Like, what timing is going to change the way we play?
Probably Basher.
Okay, so what should we be doing until Basher?
I guess farming the Basher.
Hitting some fucking creeps. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go, boys. Hitting some creeps. So, what lane would you like to go to if you're in this game and you're just hitting some creeps?
Seeing how I can't really die either bottom, or if I want to just pressure them top.
Are you a pressure hero or a defense hero?
I think I'm a pressure hero.
Okay, so where should you go?
Okay, I should go top.
Okay, cool. So let's look at the lanes. Are you kill threat on Ember? Are you gonna stop him from pushing? Really? You may stop him from pushing, but are you gonna kill him?
Yeah, I won't kill him, but
Okay.
I'll, like,
So
walk
do you
around.
need to bolt your way to top right now and fuck him up?
No, but I needed
No.
to be there if it reaches the tower.
Yeah, for sure. So what should your next move immediately be based on looking at this? So you should have killed Roche. You should look top, see that it's doing this, and then what do you say after you see that?
I need to take care of top.
Okay, but how long do you have to get there?
But I have about like 30 to 40 seconds.
I'd say 20, 30. 20 minimum, 30 maximum. So where should I go before that?
Hit some neutrals.
Hit some neutrals, boys. That's why neutrals are there, because we need to be in a lane, but we don't need to be there yet. That's what neutrals are for. How do I know to go to neutrals rather than a lane, BSJ? Well, we know we want to go to this lane, and we know we need some fucking farm for our basher, right? Like, we're just trying to be efficient at this point. Like, this Aegis is nice, but we actually need something that changes the way we play this game right now. Like, meaning, the difference between us with Blink Morbid and then like Blink Basher is insane, right? Like, that difference. The threat you have is insane if you have those items. So let's race to those items such that by the end of our Aegis duration, we have as long as possible to milk this threat that we have. Because with Basher, are we unkillable?
I think we're already quite unkillable.
We're killable for sure. Like, if we get caught out, we die 100%. You literally died last fight.
Yeah.
You're not unkillable. Are you killable twice in a team fight right now?
I didn't think I was killable twice.
You're not killable twice in a team fight.
Yeah.
So, but why is that? Because you have an Aegis, right? You're not killable twice. So we should make ourselves a kill threat and unkillable during the Aegis, and then gives ourselves as long as possible to milk that. And then what are we doing when the Aegis expires?
Just go back to what you were doing before.
Yeah, farm in a BKB.
Wait for next Aegis.
Yeah, wait for next Aegis. Give yourself a BKB because that's like the next item that changes. If you're like really snowballing, you can go for the Abyssal. You know.
I actually like now that you explained the concept, I feel like my item build was pretty bad because I went Ags after Abyssal.
Oh, it's fucking trash. Ags is terrible.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
If I just need to be a wall, I might as well just go BKB.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think, like, when you're Invoker Ursa, who's carrying the game?
Invoker. Yeah.
Yeah. So, my question, is that Pugna kill worth your tier 1?
It actually isn't.
Okay, good talk. Objective gaming, sir. I talked about that kind of thing in my Mirana game yesterday. I TP'd to take part in a fight bottom, and I knew it was bad right when I did it, but I committed anyways, because I'd rather commit to something wrong than and see how it plays out, and I lost my tier 1 because I went to a fight. It's like, you have to take care of stuff that's your priority first, right? Like, the top lane was your responsibility, so you have to be there. So, the way this game should be played, what's the rule? Where are you playing on the map?
Top.
Okay, so what's the exception?
Like 5 people show up bottom.
Like, a fight breaks out mid or bottom, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I think about how I'm playing the map. The rule is I want to play here, and what makes me not play here anymore? And it's fights, potentially. In this case, it is just fights, right? If I'm looking for pickoffs, is it ever bottom?
No.
All my pickoffs are top, right? So if my pickoffs are... That's how I know to play top, because I'm looking for pickoffs top while I'm just farming. And pickoffs will come conveniently. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to leave my farm to go get pickoffs. Like, you have 85 CS. What the fuck? 19 minutes into the game. Where is my CS? Look at all the times, like, watch a game like this back, and look at all the times you could have hit a creep, rather than choosing to do whatever else you're doing.
Thanks for playing Dota 2.
I think just to clarify, so like, my idea of playing Ursa was just, once you got your items, you kind of just play off map and run around killing people. But I suppose what you're saying is you kind of just need to push the lane as well when you're playing top. Because I don't want to show on map as much as possible.
I don't know if this game is accurate. This was a stomp. Let's see if I have another Ursa game in mind. Is that too old? Yeah, it is. I don't have any more games recently. My objective, my idea of Ursa is that I kill people and then farm while they're dead. And when everyone's alive, I go kill people. And then when they're dead, I go farm more. But like first and foremost, it's like I need the lanes to be good. Otherwise, my kills don't do anything.
Right.
If that makes sense, right? Like if the lanes aren't at their towers, then it doesn't do anything. Like that Pugna kill you got mid netted them a tower.
Yes.
You know, like
Okay. Yeah.
kills have to do something, right? Like that's what the point of kills on these heroes like Ursa are. So I want you to think like, yeah, your way of getting what you want is kills, but if those kills mean you're losing your tower, that's not a kill, right? That's not the type of kill we're wanting to get here. Like I'm thinking to myself, I'm a fucking wall wherever I go on this map. Last thing I'm gonna fucking give them is a tier 1 to a level 9 Ember when I'm level 12, you know? That's not gonna happen. That level 9 Ember just took a tower for free. So make sure they're getting nothing, and then I get what I want. And it's also slowing down your own timings, because all the things I'm telling you to do in between these kills is actually just hitting creeps, right?
Yep.
Like, I'm not telling you to run around the map making sure they don't push your towers. I'm telling you to run around the map pushing creeps so they don't get your towers, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so now at this point in the game...
I actually think I'm mostly good for this replay. And then
Yeah, okay, I think that's good.
value. Yeah.
What's up? Let's go next one.
Alright, cool.
Oh, you have a Crystal Maiden replay.
Actually, that's exactly the same lane, so maybe I'll pick a different replay.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I talk about in most of my coaching sessions, it's just like understanding of support is really understanding the core matchup, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're in a CM Ursa lane, as the CM, you should know the exact same things I told you about the Ursa, and you can try to communicate these things, but if the Ursa does them wrong too, then, yeah, you know, so be it. Not much you can do about it.
I sent it.
Not a huge Ember player, but like I understand the hero conceptually. I just can't give you like exacts on timings and stuff. But I can talk about conceptually things. Oh, this game's gonna be too old. Oh, actually, no, maybe not. Did they extend it to 2 weeks? Maybe we'll find out.
I don't know, because this was the replay I wanted. I played last week, but then we like delayed it a week. So.
Sorry about that. Are you always angry? Dude, I'm just talking in a coaching session, man. See, people are so weird about that. I'm just being harsh, you know? That's just how I am.
It's cool. It's cool.
Let's see. So what hero are you in this?
So I'm Ember.
Oh, yeah, okay. I just remembered that. I just spaced because I talked to chat. Okay. So you're mid. You're against Tinker. Not the best matchup, but... not, like, fucking terrible. To make sure I understand this, this does more than 80. Yeah, okay. Cool.
Oh, so just for the draft, so I picked, what's it called? Like the second to last phase. So
Okay.
where Dai gets 4th and 5th pick, and then they last pick Tinker.
Okay, so you picked
what
when
do
you
think
saw
about
all
that?
of your heroes and their other 4.
Yeah.
So what was your idea behind the pick?
I was like, I don't know. I just felt like I needed to pick a hero that does what it does, and we also had a PL, and I didn't want them to get Ember against PL, so I just went Ember.
Okay. So I'm overall okay with your pick in regards to like conceptually, but the reason why I'm okay with it is because you have a PL who's going to farm a lot of creeps. You have a Weaver who's going to push bottom, right? Like that's all that hero's going to do is pressure bottom. So you have PL who's going to farm creeps. You have Weaver who's going to push in bottom. So what do you need if that's what you have in mind?
Kill threat.
You need to be a hero that makes plays and works off of Weaver's lane, right? And kills people. And maybe counter ganks for PL. So I'm fine with Ember. That's why I'm fine with Ember. And I'm also fine with it because you mentioned it's good against PL. So, and it's also pretty good against Weaver. So I'm fine with the Ember pick, you know? But I want you to understand it's because I looked at my other 2 cores, how they're going to play the game, and I need to be a hero that plays off of that, right? So like Storm would have been okay. Ember would be okay. You know, heroes like Quap and stuff would be okay too, but they're like not meta, so you know I wouldn't pick that kind of hero. Just saying, like conceptually saying, I just want to be a hero that's active on the map, doesn't need to farm because that's what PL. Like I'm not gonna pick some alchemist type shit. You know, that kind of stuff. Like I want to be active before PL defusal, so that when PL gets defusal, I can be a little less active. That's what I want to be this game.
I see.
Like I don't want to necessarily be a Lina either, because Lina generally wants to farm up for the first 10 to 15 minutes. And I wouldn't mind doing that if I was absolute last pick, so I knew I'd have a good matchup. So I could, like, stomp my mid lane or something. But I don't want to pick Lina knowing I'm probably going to have a bad matchup when I pick it, and then knowing that I'm supposed to be, like, farming for a long time. Because then I'm going to be farming even longer because I have a bad matchup. Okay, so you... So far, pretty good. I mean, you're going to get lasered. Not much else to say about that. I think you've played the lane overall fine. You're going to buy yourself a bottle. You checked rune. I mean, I know you lose this matchup for sure. But like I said, I don't know the intricacies of mid lane matchups. You go get the rune, that's fine. I mean, so far this lane, I mean, I'm sure at this point you're thinking we're fine with what's happening in this lane, right? Are we fine?
Yeah, I'm fine with this.
Yeah, like you're losing obviously in terms of levels, but like we're not upset with how this lane's gone. So at this stage in the game, do we threaten Tinker at all?
I don't think so.
When do we threaten Tinker?
Level 6.
Okay. So this is a spot where what's my responsibility in terms of the mid lane?
Don't lose your tower.
Okay, yeah. So this is a lot where I see Storms and Embers just jungling. Like at this point. Like they're just jungling and rotating between jungle and mid. Like that's all they're doing. They play off map a lot. Not only is it because it's kind of more efficient for you, but it also poses a threat to the enemy team. Like I wouldn't be here right now. Like I just wouldn't be here. I think this can be really bad that you're here. Like if you're level 6, does that Tinker die?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you should be here if you were level 6, but you're a useless piece of shit when you're level 5. So, like, is Tinker gonna apply a ton of pressure on your tower right now? He could march it,
The wave in.
but can't one of your support, can't your Grimstroke literally just sit under tower and do exactly what you're doing right now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so imagine if you're mid and Grimstroke wants to come mid. If you're there, what's he gonna try to do?
Kill the Tinker.
Okay. If you're not there, what's he going to try to do?
You're just gonna sit there and farm.
Okay. So when should you be there?
When I'm level 6.
When you can kill Tinker. Because that's what he's going to try to do if you're there, right? Like, that's something where I think about my role in regards to supports. Like, what are they going to do if I'm there? What are they going to do if I'm not there? Like,
Yeah, that's funny actually, because I flamed the shit out of this Grimstroke for going on the Tinker at this point. But
what else is he going to do?
Now that I think of it, like I could have made that situation better.
And, like, it's one of those where, like, if I'm the playmaker on my team and I'm playing the dead lane, where do you think the rest of my team's going to show up?
Just like around me
They're going to come to me.
to make plays.
And have you ever been, like, a really strong hero in the dead lane and your team all comes and we all feed? And you're like, and the 6K approach is, what the fuck are you guys doing here? And then my 7K is, dude, you're the fucking strongest hero on the map. Where do you think they're gonna go? To you. So if you don't want them to be bottom, you sure as hell better not be bottom.
Yeah.
You know? That's how I look at it. Like, it's going to happen. It's like, if your mid laner still mid at this point in the game, they're probably going to try to come mid. Like, your supports, don't they always rotate to mid sometime around 5-6 minutes? Something like that? Like, I'm not saying always, but a lot of games, right? They do. So, at that point, you need to think, can they soak levels? Like, you know, you need to think about all the things, right? I'm not going to list them off. You know them. Like, all the things to consider in the mid lane. I would turn my Flame Guard off. Or, sorry, I'd Flame Guard this and get out, because Tinker's gone. Do you want Tinker to be in lane with you? When do you want Tinker to be in lane at the same time you are?
When I can kill him.
Okay. Otherwise, okay, when can you kill him? When you're level 6 and...
Yeah, I have mana and maybe I have a +1.
And you have a +1. So if you had a Grimstroke chilling right here, or like right here, you could do what you're doing right now. But Tinker's not here. You have no support. Like, you have no help. Just clear this wave and get the fuck out.
Alright.
You know what I mean? You get that?
Yep.
The decision making behind this? Okay.
Got it.
It's just about asking yourself why I'm here. What am I doing? You know?
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna kill that guy, so I guess you forced a haste rune. That's not all that bad. I don't know if that's even good for you, though.
Because I actually do try to just solo kill him later, and then I just die.
Yeah.
And I was like,
But am
wow,
I... Okay, I'm telling you.
+1.
Guess how many games of Ember I've played in the last fucking year?
I don't know, probably like 3.
Yeah, 2 or 3. They were all terrible, okay? Why? Because my mechanics on the hero are not brushed up, and I'm so busy focusing on playing the hero that these conceptual things I can't talk about. That's all it is. Like, or I can't think about them. I just can't. So I make a lot of dumb conceptual plays because I'm so busy being mechanical on the hero. Well, like, if I was mechanically comfortable on this hero, I told you ahead of time now that I can't kill this guy without help. Like, I know the hero's limits, I just can't execute them. That's all there is to it. Like, if I eventually one day feel like I need to learn Ember, I will have to put probably 50 to 100 games straight into Ember. Like, he's just a very mechanically high skill hero. So, you know, it's like with like a Clinks, I only had to play 25, 30-ish. With Weaver, I had played him a lot in the past, so I only had to play like 5 to 10 games. But I have to be so mechanically and conceptually comfortable on the hero that I can make this level of decision making. That's where you have to be to gain MMR from your point, right? Your 6.2k, right, is what we said. So you're at that point where I can't reliably climb on my Smurf without this level of knowledge. Like, my Smurf was about 6.2k for a while, 6.3, and it's been sitting there. And finally, I just started spamming these, like, Clink Spectre heroes, and suddenly I was just winning every game in 6k, because my level of understanding of those heroes reached to the point where I could do that. You know what I'm saying? But, like, when I was just practicing heroes on my Smurf kind of haphazardly, I never got any MMR. I never gained MMR on my Smurf account, because my understanding was not high enough to execute at this level to consistently shit on 6k players. But now, like, if you go to my Smurf, like, Dota buff. I'm actually just checking this out. I think I've won, like, 80% of my recent games. I look at my last page of 14 games, and I have 4 losses. Yeah, I have 10-4. And 2 of those losses were me playing Storm, and those were a joke. So I'm 10 out of 12. So it's like, yeah, it's just one of those things where my point is when you get your level of understanding to a certain point, you can make the decision-making levels that I'm telling you to make. And if you're playing a hero and you can't do that, what's the only way to fix that?
Just play it more.
You actually have to first pick that hero 15 games in a row.
Yeah.
I used to not believe in it. If you asked me a month ago, I might not say that, okay? But I finally gave in and said, I've been seeing Eternal Envy, I've been seeing Arteezy, I've been seeing players like this literally just fucking first pick a hero and just play it 20 games in a row. Maybe they're on to something. I would say they're a bit more successful professionally than I am. Maybe they're on to something. And I tried it, and I feel like my understanding of Clinks is, like, actually really high now, you know? And before that, I'd kind of haphazardly picked Clinks. It's not like I was terrible, but understanding his exact timings, when to go here, how to play lanes, when to rotate to the safe lane of the opponent, like whether or not I'm supposed to jungle in between, exact timings of that kind of stuff, when do I show on the map, what items do I go according to what, like, it's funny to me. If I'm looking at a Storm Spirit on the opponent team on Clinks, am I more inclined to build Diffusal or Deso? Why?
I guess you'd have to watch. I actually don't know, but
I literally realized it's better to build Diffusal because every Storm at some point built Lincolns because I would build sheep and kill them, and so if I had a Diffusal, I could break the Lincolns. That affected my first item choice against Storm, I realized that. Because I'm like, if it's my job to deal with Storm, some games it's not, but if it was my job to deal with Storm, I would have to go first item Diffusal because the Storms would always be good enough to go Lincolns, and then I needed something to break Lincolns. Like, I can't do it with Deso, right? So it's like, I need, if I'm the hero that deals with Storm, I have to go Diffusal rather than Deso. Which, like, that's a very high-level understanding thing, right? Like, it is. Like, I would have never considered that if it hadn't happened to me, and it only happened to me because I played Clinks 30 games in a row. So I'm just telling you not to, like, say you have to go spam a hero, but if you can't operate at that level of understanding of a hero, you have to play them more. Like, that's really all there is to it. And once you understand that hero at that level, move on to another hero. And once you understand that hero at that level, move on to another hero. And eventually, when you feel comfortable at a given patch for playing all the top meta heroes at that level, that's when you just start picking them when they're perfect. Like, meaning you fifth pick the Ember in a situation like this. Okay, so I'm fine with this rotation. I see a lot of Embers kind of stuff. This is good. This should be a good net value for you. Oh, nope.
Yep.
Okay, you guys get a kill. I mean, either way, it should be good. And you TP right back mid. Good. This is good. That's fine. I look at that play, and it's like worst case scenario, nothing happens. And then you TP mid. So I'm fine with that play. You go treads, fine with the build. Pushing out mid. That's fine, because you have a +1. Go for the bounty rune, it's not there. You go, okay, this is all good. I don't hate this. I feel like you probably could have jungled a camp on the way here. I just don't want to be against Tinker very often. Is all I'm thinking. Okay, so... I feel like you linger too much mid. You need to, like, Flame Guard and get the fuck out kind of thing. Against this Tinker. You're kind of, like, removing yourself as a hero from the map. Do you see how, like, out of the game you are right now?
Yeah, I can't do anything.
Yeah, like, you're just neutering yourself. Is kind of how I look at this. You're up by 5k, and, like, I think there's plays to be made bottom. Why did I say at the beginning of the game that I knew there would be plays to make bottom?
Your Weaver's just gonna push the lane in.
I know what type of hero Weaver is, right? The lane's always going to be pushed in my sessions. How do we know we won a lane?
The lane's pushing in. Today.
Okay, who won this lane?
So Weaver won the lane.
No, who won your lane?
Oh, I guess Tinker's pushing it into.
I'm not saying you lost, like it was worse than what happened to you, or like meaning that you played it wrong. I'm saying that who won the lane? Who had the better matchup? Tinker, right? What's the lane look like this entire time when both of you are here?
Tinker just marches.
It pushes into your tower when you are both here every time, right? So like, all I'm saying is it's a clear indication of who's winning the lane, okay? Or like who's stronger in the lane, right? So you don't want to be against the guy that's stronger than you. What is really great if you go bottom and you force Tinker there, especially early on in the game, before it bots?
Don't you just free out mid lane?
Yeah, he's not there. He's not mid anymore.
Yeah,
that's actually the nice part about it. Literally, yeah, that's the exact answer. He's not mid anymore. If he doesn't have bots, I mean, if he has bots, then he has. If he doesn't have bots, he's like spending 50 gold on TPs, which, like, you're an Ember, so you don't exactly care about mobility on the map. That's not something that exactly concerns you. So this is a spot where you need to be more decisive. Stop lingering mid in bad matchups. You know what I mean? Like, it's safe lane, it's off lane, it's all three core roles. And if I don't want to be against that guy, but I want to be in that lane, what's the only way to deal with that? Like, I don't want to be against that guy, but there's no other lane for me to exactly go to and farm.
Jungle.
No, I go fucking force the guy out of that lane. I can't tell you how often the way I deal with Enchantress specifically, because that's a hero that literally just throws fucking impetus at me and I have to walk away, is I go kill another lane, force her to TP, and then go back to my lane. You see what I'm saying? If I can't push her out directly, I might as well get her to leave. And if she doesn't leave, I'm killing her team, because isn't Enchantress oftentimes like one of the strongest heroes on her team at like 10 minutes into the game?
Yeah.
So my only way of dealing with her in my safe lane is by killing somewhere else, maybe forcing her to rotate. If she doesn't rotate, then what?
Then you just keep killing.
I just keep killing people, and I keep being aggressive. They're missing their strongest hero. Like, so one of the biggest things when I have an Enchantress, if I'm drafting with an Enchantress, what kind of hero do I not want to be? If I'm on an Enchantress's team.
Like someone who just gets killed.
Yeah, someone who's codependent upon their team and relies on their teammates to counter gank, right? Like, I don't want... My Enchantress doesn't want to do that, right? So last thing I'm going to do is pick a fucking, I mean, maybe Drow lineups can work with Enchantress, but that's a bit different because usually you just leave the jungle anyway. But I'm not going to pick, like, a... Let's see... A safe laner like... Oh, man, what's a good... I mean, I'm going to say this right now. It's dependent on what the opponents have. Okay, it's depending on what they have, because like it's just a hero that's gonna die to their shit is what I would say. Like, it depends. You get my drift. You know what I mean. Yeah. So we're gonna fast forward. We talked about how you're just being a little too much in this lane. You're just too chill about it.
Radiant's middle tower under attack.
I think you're a little too free with that rune. Like, I think you could have used that much more valuable. Like, you probably could have killed, like, a jungle camp. You could have flame guarded twice. You could have pushed in 2 lanes and then regened. I'm just saying I think you were way too okay.
Try to
with-
kill him. And I just
yeah,
die.
this is the yep. Poggers. Your CS also speaks for how often you've sat mid. I think that the only reason your CS is this low is because you've been willing to sit mid too often, instead of just jungling and rotating between mid and like jungle, or rotating bottom real quick and then coming back, that kind of stuff. I think that you should have maybe 15 more CS.
Can I just see how long we have left? Because I want to get to the like.
Yeah, let's
late
do one.
game
Let's
part
do
of
one.
this as well.
You want to do what?
Oh no, just like the later portions of this game.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. We'll fast forward.
Oh, cool.
We have like 10, 15 minutes. I'll make sure I get there either way. So it's you're the last session. If it ends up taking me longer, then so be it.
Thanks for
This
that.
is fine. Kind of.
I just died.
It's not terrible. So you kill the supports. I wouldn't necessarily love how aggressive you're playing. I feel like that kind of play doesn't net you the tower anyways. So it's like maybe go for a bit of aggression, but don't commit so hard. Just make sure when I look at those kind of decisions, like make sure I know what I'm getting out of it in terms of objectives. I think the major thing I have about this game, I don't actually have too much to comment at this stage in the game anymore, because the fact that you haven't made a play around bottom is a fucking travesty based on your heroes that we talked about when I said I knew minute 0 that you should be making plays around bottom. Not only that, but look at their safe laner. Is it going to stop you?
No.
No. Especially, like, what was your timing? I already mentioned it in this game, that you just have a free reign of bottom lane.
I think it was level 6 when I got my.
Yeah, it's just before Tinker bots is your timing. You have absolute free reign of bottom when Tinker doesn't have bots. If Tinker doesn't have bots, what's the only way they're going to deter your aggression bottom?
Like TP someone else there.
Who?
Earthshaker or Wraith King.
Okay, and what does that do?
And doesn't I think it just means top lane's lost for them.
Top lane is absolutely free for your PL, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely free. I mean, that's just how it is, right? That's how I look at this. Like, how do they actually stop me from going bottom before Tinker bots? And, like, I have the Weaver hero that's gonna, like... So I immediately look at my two cores. Who am I gonna play around? It's not gonna be PL for damn sure. If I'm going to PL's lane, why?
So what was that?
Why would I ever go to PL's lane in the first 12, 15 minutes?
Okay, so like they just bring a lot of heroes there.
So you're
And they're
counterplaying.
fighting. Yeah.
Is that true? You're counterplaying. So if you're counterplaying, it's top. If you're making an aggressive play, it's bottom. In the other game, is that how the rule is that it's going to be your own safe lane you're counterplaying, and you're going to be making aggressive plays in the opponent lane. Earlier today, I coached a guy that was like 4.7k as Bloodseeker. He had a Necro safe lane and an Axe off lane. What's the rule there? Who are you counterplaying and who are you playing around?
Okay, I don't know.
Why did you play around Weaver this game? Why would you?
Because he's gonna push the lane in.
Okay, so if you look at Necro and Axe, who pushes it?
Necro definitely pushes.
Okay,
think-
so who am I playing around that game?
Okay, it's Necro.
Necro. And then I'm counterplaying for the Axe. So if I'm making a play right now, whose lane do I go to?
I'm going bottom to Weaver.
But in that game, it was Necro. But in this game, it's
Oh,
Weaver.
yeah.
I'm saying every time you make a play, it's going to be to, like, if you're making the play, it'll be to Weaver, right? And it should be around Weaver, right? That's what I'm trying to say. And so, like, in the game, if it's like with PL, all you're thinking of is like if they're missing and who's going to gank him and shit, you know, all that kind of stuff. When they would look to make a play on Weaver, or sorry, PL. When they would look to make a play on PL, if they have like Earthshaker Echo, maybe they're more likely to make a play top. So I'm going to be paying attention to that. And while you're thinking about all these things, what's your only thing you're worried about?
I think it's just losing mid tower.
Yeah, losing mid tower. So you're focused in like, so if you're not making a play bottom, meaning you've thought about this, you're not making a play bottom, there's no counterplay to be made top, and mid lane's not pushed in, what are you doing?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
There's no play to be made bottom because you've considered it, and it's not happening. There's no counterplay to be made top, and you're not sorry, I lost my train of thought. No play bottom, no counterplay top, and you're in a lane matchup like you are mid. What are you doing?
you just flame guard the wave, get the fuck out, and go jungle.
And hit some newts, right? That's what jungle's for, because you've asked yourself all the plays you can make on the map, and none of them are there.
Yes.
And how many jungle creeps have you hit this game?
Like 0.
I think 0. Yeah, like literally 0. And I've mentioned like 4 or 5 times now throughout this game, like specific moments that we went through in the session, that you could have been hitting neutrals. So eventually, we're going to go bottom. But at this point, it's way too late, because you're against Spectre Tinker. Way too late. The key about making rotations is, remember what I asked you about going bottom? Nice play, I guess. But remember what I said about going bottom? Why would I say to go bottom? What was it based on?
My Weaver's winning the lane.
Okay, but also what did I consider? That was true. But, like, what else did I consider?
Forcing the Tinker bottom. So
Okay.
just
Before what?
before bots.
Because if he has bots, that's real simple for him, right? He's just going to TP and defend it. And so if he doesn't have bots yet, suddenly it gets real fucking awkward for them. Because then they have to TP out of top, all that kind of stuff. So it's thinking about what the opponent wants to be doing. That's all it is. So, I mean, you're making a lot of solo plays. And I think this entire game is super awkward at this point simply because of the entirety of relations to bottom. If you don't go take a bottom tower in this game, why is it so important that you hit the timing to take it in this game?
So your PL can just rotate there and sit there.
How about, because it's real fucking hard to take it when they have Haunt and Blink, or Tinker bots, and Blink Shaker. Once they have Blink Shaker, Haunt, and bots on Tinker, in terms of multiplier factor, how much harder is it to take that bottom tower?
Like 20 times harder.
Way harder, okay? So that's why it's so important that you hit it earlier, right? In the Ursa game that I just coached, or was that you? That was you.
My last replay was Ursa.
Yeah. Why did I say it wasn't that important for you to take tier 1s?
Because if you get rushed, they're just gonna die anyway.
They're just going to die anyway. But in this game, past the Tinker bots, that game gets real fucking hard to take tier 1s. So you have to get those opportunities when they first present themselves. And so we talked about pregame. I know my first move will be bottom to get a tier 1 because it's Weaver. I'm not taking tier 1 mid. The only time I'm ever going to be mid is if I have a +1 to kill the guy. Otherwise, I'm getting in, getting out. If you're Tinker, are you fine spending as much time as you want mid in this type of game?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only time you're not mid is when?
Is when my team needs me.
When you're scared of dying.
Sure.
Isn't that the only reason you want to be mid? If I'm thinking from Tinker's perspective? That's the only reason you want to be there, right?
Yeah.
So if you're playing aggressive on me and I'm Tinker, I'm going to assume you have a +1 and play accordingly. But if you show 4 heroes on the map and then do that, I'm just going to fucking kill you because you're an idiot. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're going to make sure we get to the late game. So you smoke up. What's your objective here? Bottom lane was pushed in. It's real awkward because bottom lane was pushed in. I think that was Weaver's job, though. So you have all these aggressive items. I don't mind the items. Why do you have a dust? Do they have a glimmer? Oh, they're building Shadow Blade.
Yes,
okay.
got like Shadow Blade or something.
Okay. This game's real awkward now because this game's just real fucking awkward. There's like no way you can play lanes at this point. You've missed your timing. It's so awkward to play. You have 3 heroes that want to split push and farm waves, and they have Spectre, Tinker, Earthshaker, and they've only lost tier 1s. And the Shaker has Blink. So you end up running top because that really was where you were supposed to be playing, but now things are super awkward. So you do die, but your team ends up getting a decent fight. I feel like wherever your cores are, they're guaranteed to die at least one of you. So at this stage in the game, who's my main concern on the opponent team to my survivability?
I think it's Tinker.
I'd say Earthshaker for
what
sure.
else?
Isn't Earthshaker going to be a part of killing you every single time?
That's my bad. Yeah.
So I think it's Earthshaker. So Echo Slam's on cooldown, so I'm going to be running at some motherfuckers right now. Which you did. I'm just telling you why I would be running at some motherfuckers right now. Because Echo Slam's on cooldown, and he's my threat. Tinker's a threat when what?
I'm losing it. I don't know.
When has he become a threat to me?
Oh, if he gets Hex.
Yeah, so that's what whenever I'm checking Tinker's items and I saw that he was going Ags, I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's for my PL, that's fine, I get it, but he's not a threat to me. Will Tinker possibly be a part of the people that kill you?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But 100% Earthshaker's in there, right?
Earthshaker.
So I care about Earthshaker because 100% he's going to be a part of it.
Cool.
So I see Earthshaker bottom. Isn't that just him giving me a nice little, freedom to go somewhere else?
Yeah.
Do whatever the fuck I want on the map? So the minute I see this... Yeah. Run to mid lane. After this creep. Okay? But you didn't even check Earthshaker. You didn't even look at him. This is the kind of stuff where, why am I telling you to check Earthshaker's items? And status and shit.
Just like, cause I knew it was going Shadow Blade, so like if he had it, then.
But like, I'm talking like mana, health, TP status.
Oh, okay.
If you checked him, right now,
doesn't have fucking mana.
you don't have any mana. So you know you've got like an extra 20 seconds in the mid lane to do whatever you want, make plays. This is the kind of stuff I've been working on recently. I check enemy items a lot, but I haven't checked my ally items a lot. That's what I was getting flamed for by Arteezy and Sumail. I don't check ally items a lot. Why would ally items matter a lot? Detection, mana, like whether or not they want to fight, if they're ready to take objectives, if my initiator has a blink yet, how close he is to that blink, so that affects what I want to do from now on. That kind of stuff, right? But like here, the only hero that affects you is Earthshaker. Tinker will start affecting you when he gets Hex, which he's not even going for.
Yeah.
So it's like, all I care about is every time Earthshaker shows on the map, I know to check his inventory. I know to check. I have to. I have to. It's very important to me. I wouldn't have been scared there to blink. Like, I probably would have a Remnant at these camps, because I know I'm going to push that wave, and then by that point, the Earthshaker will become a threat again. And it's really important to be efficient right now as possible. Why?
I need my BKB.
You need your fucking BKB.
Yeah.
So I would have had a Remnant at camps, and then farm mid lane, and then gone back to camps. I would have farmed mid lane. Why? Because I saw Earthshaker bottom, and I knew he didn't have mana, so I had time to farm mid. Okay. Have your BKB. Okay, that Earthshaker was on some shit. No PL, no Fiend's Grip, no Grimstroke. Very odd choice of BKB. For all the aforementioned reasons.
This'll come in handy.
Okay, so your team's fighting now. You went to base. You have no BKB. It would be nice to have it right now, but we'll move on from that.
I think I just died.
Yeah, why did you die here?
No BKB.
Okay. So your decision mid, which you should know not to use your BKB because of all the things we mentioned. Okay.
It was actually the mid that caused that, dude.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I knew that. Okay, as long as you understand that, we're good. Yeah. It's not a coincidence that I harped on your BKB usage. Okay, yeah. Like, does it always backfire? No. Does it have a percentage of backfiring? Yes. That's all Dota is your mistakes have a percentage chance of backfiring. So the more mistakes you make, the more times you will randomly have it backfire. So you have a TP for bottom. I like that you walked bottom, but yeah, so you're going to the fight now. Okay. Oh, the bash! Thank you, Roche. Unfortunate about the detection, but you guys are going to get Aegis. Somebody needs to clear out bottom. It's probably you, but it said it's both of your supports. Odd, but okay. I guess Tinker's dead, so you guys are actually on a timer, so I'm actually okay with this, I guess. I would have preferred you just had a TP, and then... That's fine. So you guys back off. Okay. Okay, so when the enemy team wins a fight, what should be your immediate concern?
Lanes, right.
Like,
bottom
whatever
lane.
their objective is, right?
Yeah.
I don't care about... I mean, lanes are obviously a potential of it, but I care about what their next objective is. So I see this happening. What should I do immediately? Gauge the lanes, right? So can I push mid?
I might be able to cut the wave, but probably not.
No. So what's a reliable thing you can do? That won't be
Bounty
safe to
rings.
do 30 seconds from now. Bounty runes, sure, but what else is near the bounty runes?
Bottom lane.
How quickly should this be? Think about it, right? You see this guy dying? I don't want to fight. Boom, bottom. Get bounty. Bottom. Bounty. Out. Right? Like,
Gotcha.
you see what I'm saying? It has to be that quick. Otherwise, they'll catch you.
Yeah, I think it's too slow in there.
Yeah, it's the thing is you have to immediately understand that anytime you win or lose a fight, you have to think about your objectives if you win, their objectives if you lose. And then your decisions will be much better. Yawar Ember is very good. You should watch one of his group stage games from TI if you can find it. There's a group stage game of Yawar playing Ember where he had the absolute shittest game, and his recognition of where to play on the map after fights or during fights and stuff like that is top notch.
Is that the one you recommended and something else?
Yes, I did.
I watched one.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah, it might
was
be.
that one?
It might be the same game then. If it was an Ember Battle Fury game, then yes, it was that one. Because he literally started the game like 0-6 or something, and then just spent the entire game recovering and then carried. So, and it was because every time the enemy team was fighting or won a fight, he stopped them from taking towers by constantly going to the lane they were going to try to push and shit and cutting it. But now you're against Shaker with Echo, so your game's real awkward.
I'm just getting the feeling that like this game's such a shit show because of the fact that we missed the timing early. Is that
Yes, that is 100% it. This game, I would say, if you don't take that tier 1 by 11 minutes, is about half as likely for you to win.
right?
Like, you would probably have 60% chance to win if it weren't for that, 30% chance if you don't.
Yeah.
Tinker was nice enough to die. They still have Echo. I don't mind your items, just your playstyle. The items are good.
Gotcha.
Okay. Suddenly you're playing efficiently and pushing lanes and farming jungle. Hope that can start happening at 10 minutes. Okay, or 7. Or even if it was 5. No, 5 was when we were talking about. 5 was when your support can take mid and you can farm jungle. Okay, so now you're not with your team and you have no bots. I don't love this. But your team ends up taking bottom. Okay. At this point in the game, I would actually invest in bots, I think. Bots or Lincolns? Why would I go Lincolns?
Just saves you from like dying.
If I have a Lincolns, who's the only hero on their team that threatens me?
Ursa.
Okay, if I don't have a Lincolns, who threatens me? Wraith King if
Potentially
Spectre
Wraith
built an
King.
Abyssal. Tinker builds a sheep if he builds it because he should, but he doesn't. Right? So suddenly, without a Lincolns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? With a Lincolns, 1? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you actually responsible for carrying this game in terms of like outputting a lot of damage?
No, that's.
You're enabling your
think
teammates
so,
to do that, aren't
actually.
you? What? I don't think you're responsible for outputting
Oh
a lot
no,
of
no, no,
damage.
sorry. I meant like. No, because my Weaver and PL do
Yeah,
more
you have
damage.
2 other heroes that can kind of do that for you. You just have to be a nuisance on the map, pushing out lanes, enabling them to be more effective on the game. So, like, it's all about you living and doing your job by living. So, like, I don't like the Mjolnir until after... When would you go Mjolnir? You go Mjolnir when you don't need anything else. Like, that's a luxury item upgrade.
I also had slot issues, so like, but maybe it just means I shouldn't be carrying the gym.
Yeah, I think that the gym... That's tough. I had a game like this with PL yesterday, or the day before, where I was having slot issues and I had a gym.
Uh-huh.
So all these fights are like, okay. I just feel like... Oh, the double gym. These fights just get awkward, man. I'm watching this game, and I feel like this game's so fucking hard. I feel like this entire thing's going to be an uphill battle. I'm telling you, I don't hate many of your decisions past this point. I feel like your game is just way harder because of what happened. The pace of the game. Like, I feel like the opponent should have been locked in their base at 24 minutes into the game or something. Like, they should have been stuck in their own base. And then suddenly they're making only plays with Haunt, only plays with, like, Echo into Haunt. And then the game's really easy for you. But now it's like, you can't even, like, they can outpush lanes with Tinker and Spectre. They have Earthshaker playing off map all the time, so he's real scary for you guys. You guys don't actually threaten Tinker at all, really, like with your heroes. PL's threatened, you're threatened, Weaver's threatened, they're not threatened. And this game's just really awkward because of this.
Can I just ask, like,
Yeah.
so what's like the role of a support in this type of game? Because
I would say the Bane is like setting up for you, PL or Weaver, to like he should be giving you guys Tinker wards. He should be setting up potential kills on heroes he thinks is alone that you can get to. So if PL's farming bottom and he wants to play around the diff, then he goes bottom and like sets up a kill for that. Like he should be setting up kills. I think Grimstroke is actually like a +1 for kills, but he's not actually setting up. He'd be the one like smoking with you maybe, or out pushing the dead lane. I think he could be doing a lot of, depending on what stage in the game. Like Ember is a dead lane hero. Like you can definitely take dead lane farm on Ember. But in like the times where Earthshaker has Echo Slam, and I know my Ember can't go there, I might go there myself and like force the Echo Slam on me, kind of thing. If I'm Grimstroke. In team fights, I think that their job is to follow you up, like let you go in first. I think your job is to go first with your Blink BKB Shivas. Like that's why I like your items, because you have to go first. Weaver can't go first. PL can't go first. So you go in first, and then they look to like. Honestly, I'd say Bane is like interrupting the Earthshaker combo. Grimstroke, if he can't ever get his R onto the Tinker or Spectre, I think is really important. But
So,
most
like-
go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So, I know this isn't exactly related to Ember, but so when you're itemizing for these supports, do you kind of just think, okay, so my job is to do this and this, as you said with Bane and Grimstroke? What kind of items do you build? You just get like mobility items? Because
I would build these exact items on Bane.
Yeah.
These would be the items because Aetherlens and Glimmer let me set up kills. I would probably have like I don't mind Yules, but I'd probably have like Blink or Ghost Scepter or something. Like not Ghost Scepter. I'd probably have Blink. I'd probably have Blink Glimmer on top of this instead of a pipe. These aren't exactly heroes you pipe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, gotcha.
Like, I don't view Ember, PL, and Weaver as heroes I support by giving them pipe. Like, I support heroes like DK or some shit with a pipe. I give these type of heroes my hero. Like, I just offer my abilities in game in fights. Like, I don't need to tank them up. I just need to be alive. So, like, I think this is a really bad purchase. I wouldn't mind Lotus at this stage in the game for sure. Why? Because I talked about Abyssal and Hex being two of their primary win conditions, right? So it's like, I can Lotus my Ember and make him stronger as he goes in. So I first and foremost, against heroes like Spectre and Tinker as a support, I'm just not going to die. I need to itemize myself not to die. So the minute I've hit the point where I don't die, then I start thinking about my allies. And, like, giving them things that make their game easier. So then I'm like, do I want to help my Tinker, or sorry, my PL? Do I want to help my Weaver? I'd say I want to help the hero that goes in first. So I'd say I want to help my Ember, and that would just be done with a Lotus Orb. I can't believe this Tinker doesn't go Hex against Weaver, Ember, PL. So this game is some shit. Okay, so PL, does he have a Silver Edge? Okay, he's at least considering one. How do you have this much gold and not have a Silver Edge?
I think it gets on straight after we realize that.
Yeah, I mean, he's never played PL versus Spectre if he doesn't have Silver Edge. Hey, you guys get kills. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, suddenly we're winning. Kind of. I mean, I still feel like this game's grim. I just feel like one mistake by you guys, you lose. One mistake by them, like 5 mistakes by them, they lose. Here's you. So your supports are dead. Your PL gets caught. They actually have a hex on somebody. Yeah. The times where you're allowed to build Octarine, that's a luxury item. So when do we build luxury items?
It's like you don't need to do anything else.
Yeah, you don't
Just
need
go
anything
faster.
else. You just need to do whatever you're doing better, right? Like I consider Daedalus a luxury item. How is Daedalus a luxury item as opposed to like a nullifier or a sheepstick? If I'm a right-clicking hero.
Oh, so like another sheepstick allows you to kill heroes maybe you couldn't.
Yeah, right. But so if I can kill them anyways, I'll build a Daedalus, right? Like that's the idea behind like Daedalus being a luxury item. It doesn't actually make it so I kill people differently. It just makes it so that the people that I can already kill, I'm killing harder. You know, I'm killing them faster. Okay. That's why most heroes for 2K shitters that always ask me about it don't build Deso very often because they need other items to actually kill people.
Is that like to do with Clinks, Deso, or Diffusal Decision?
Yeah, it's a lot
Something
about
like that
that.
as well?
Yeah, it's a lot about that. Yeah.
Cool.
Like Deso generally means you have like a +1 that helps you kill people, or you have like no Roche damage and you think Roche is your first major objective, or you have no tower damage and you needed to actually kill towers really fast. Like that's another consideration with things. But usually you'll get Deso if you think your job is to kill towers in the mid game. Then like in fights, all you're gonna do is BKB and hit people. Then like because you have a lot of lockdown or something, then Deso's good for that. And then eventually you build a sheepstick anyway. So.
Yeah, I think this game's over.
Yeah, I mean it's. Do you actually win?
Yeah.
Nice. This is a game where like a lot of decisions at this stage of the game, I have been okay with. I don't like the Lincolns nearly as, or I don't like this as much as the Lincolns because I feel like if the Tinker actually built a hex like he should, your game's really hard. And overall, like I didn't hate anything you did this game. It was just all the things we talked about. I don't feel like I need to rehash. If you want to actually, just rehash on them, the video is going to be up on YouTube, right? So, I think we've talked about a lot. I think we went over a lot of shit about how you have to think about your heroes and how they relate to the game. And your username is really some shit. I can't get over it, so I'm gonna move away.
I'm
from
trying
that.
to be you. Like I watch all your videos, and
I appreciate it, dude. I appreciate it. Maybe one day you'll be able to be a tier 3 memeing streamer, and then you can pull that off. So, yeah, man. Do you have any final questions before we wrap it up?
I don't know actually. Shout out to my friends who are watching, and one of them actually bought me this session because
Right on.
I'm broke as fuck, but I still wanted to talk to you.
Dude, keep the guy going. I appreciate it. Shout out to your friend, cool guy.
Yeah.
And I will. I wish you the best of luck with your venture of becoming a tier 3 meme streamer. So,
Alright, you too, man.
yeah,
Catch
right
you
on. Have a good one.
Bye.